You're just a dog on a bed. Yes, you are. Life's hard. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Used to a problem. Episode number 445. Every time I read out these numbers, it just boggles my mind. It boggles my mind we're at 100. Number 445. Just absolutely insane. Okay, so we have just boatloads of filings happening in Bed Bath & Beyond this week. Basically, updates for every single solitary one of like the 74 subsidiaries have gone in. There's been, was it form, is it 319, 304, 309? Some form that you file when you initiate bankruptcy that's basically like, this is my name, this is my social security number, or in this business case, this is the business name, this is the employee identification number, blah, blah, blah. And that got updated, which means there's been a change of control during the bankruptcy. We had filings that explicitly stated there are two plans. There's a plan for the liquidating trust, trust, which is what Goldberg is in charge of. And then there's another plan administrator for the reorganization, which we don't know who they are or what that plan is. It's been completely withheld and sealed by the court. So, neat. On the other side, some dumbass shill. Oh my gosh, they are so stupid. Absolutely the dumbest, stupidest, dumbest, dumb in the entire dumb, stupid world. And they thought they were so smart when they put this thing in there. Oh, great. The cat is yelling at me to come in. While I look for this, I will do this because the Batman is screaming at the moment. Nope. Yeah. Sit there and yell. I'll get come inside. Oh, I just realized I did a Batman intro before I did a normal intro. So, there's the Batman intro. Turn off the Batman intro as he now sitting and no longer yelling at us. Oh my gosh. It is so funny. Okay, bam. All right, here we go. Hi, you going up here? All right, he's going to come up here and read it with me. Cattail karaoke. So, the clerk, Jeanne, says, this will confirm that April 24th, 2024, the bankruptcy court received an email from you, copy attached, that appears... Oh, ow, cat, don't cut my nipples with your claws. Okay. Copy attached. It appears to request that the court take certain action. Please be advised that you must file either a formal motion, application, or a complaint to request any relief you may be seeking. Emails or letters do not preserve any deadline that may apply, nor are they filed in the court's official docket. The court does not have a complaint form. However, a generic form motion package is being forwarded to you with this notice. Additional motion packages are also available on the court's website at blah, blah, blah. If you do not have access to the internet, you may contact the clerk's office for a copy. The court will not take any action regarding your email unless you file a formal pleading with the clerk and serve the appropriate parties. You should consider obtaining legal counsel to advise you in connection with relief you may be seeking. Copies of this notice are being provided to counsel for the debtor, the plan administrator, and the United States trustee. So basically, we're sending this to everybody so they can laugh at you because you're an idiot. And this is what they sent. Dear Honorable Judge Papalia, I hope this email finds you in good health. You can already see him like tipping his fedora. You received correspondence regarding this now defunct stock about shareholder rights, along with various claims I imagine you found ridiculous. I do not know what, if any, knowledge the court has of this matter, so I will assume it is minimal to communicate the issue. Everything I have written here can be verified. You might already be familiar with what I'm about to discuss due to Neely Das, a person who tried to present a case pro se for shareholders not long ago. I am writing in the hopes of informing you that certain individuals are directly responsible for these claims of shareholder rights that are more like conspiracy theories. They operate online behind the pretense of entertainment or education, while repeating this is not financial advice, as they deceive vulnerable former shareholders of BBBY and people invested in meme stocks. They are essentially an online subculture like incels with elements of QAnon, sovereign citizens, and cargo cults. I don't even know what a cargo cult is. Many stories of how people's lives have been ruined as a result of this group can be found online. There would be no reason for the poor souls to believe such nonsense, no reason for them to have held the stock into bankruptcy, were it not for the following people who have profited from the financial destruction, misery, and suffering of their victims. The main figure is Blair, who goes by PPC Shows on Twitter and hosts a show on YouTube by the same name. He supposedly made at least $100,000 from just one episode of his show. He has a history of pumping stocks and crypto. Blah Blah's success can be attributed to Bill Pulte on Twitter, who ingratiated himself with the BBY community from an interaction with Ryan Cohen on Twitter. You may be aware there is a group of people that worship Ryan Cohen like he is Jesus of the stock market. Mr. Pulte has placed himself as a false prophet. Mr. Pulte has been enabling these people, giving them false hope, exploiting their desperation for his own motives. There were instances where he directly contributed to the spreading of misinformation disguised as due diligence and education. Mr. Pulte has appeared multiple times as a guest on the PP Show. On an episode dated September 26, 2023, Mr. Pulte incentivized the audience to make donations of $500 each. This led to an event in Florida that attendees believed was for BBBY, but Mr. Pulte misappropriated for Pulte Homes. Attendees were paid money out of what they paid for the tickets, the event, to buy Pulte Home stock. Part of this deal was that they signed over their shareholder rights. Mr. Pulte allegedly has personal ambitions for the company. Another figure is Jake 2B on Twitter. He is a regular on the show, and to this day, he continues to spin and present official filings and documents as bullish, as if shareholders will be made whole. He is the source of such claims made by Shillian, I don't know, who I believe a letter containing concerns. Her claims might as well be quoting Jake. Last person I would like to bring attention is Michael Jones. This person contributes more creative or rather insane conspiracies, supposedly a medical professional who definitely should not be practicing medicine. These aforementioned individuals have promoted or even stated outright defamatory statements against the plan administrator. Perhaps you are aware of the harassment he has received. I do not know if you are the appropriate person to send this to, besides the SEC or DOJ. The hope is that at least you might be able to unequivocally address the issue officially on record in court so that the matter can be put to rest for the retail investors being strung along by the above group. Attention is on the bankruptcy, so the message will be received. For the benefit, if you can state in the simplest terms so that a child can understand, it would be much appreciated. Please call out the aforementioned individuals by their names, saying that they are wrong, have been wrong for a long time, or however you deem appropriate to handle this. They believe former shareholders of BBY will be made whole and receive cash or equity despite all the previous statements that they will not. Please disperse any theories about shorting the stock, as they believe the short positions will somehow reopen with issuing new equity, resulting in a short squeeze. They believe short positions are still open on the stock despite it being delisted, extinguished, deemed worthless, etc. Please state Ryan Cohen's lack of involvement, since he sold his stake, that Ryan Cohen will not save former shareholders of BBBYQ. Please state that Overstock, Dream on Me, Beyond, any entity even remotely related to the former BBY has nothing to do with them. They do not understand, are in denial, misinformed about the IP being sold. They believe the Knowles are like an asset that they can use for tax benefit. Oh my gosh. Please state that Teddy has nothing to do with any of this. Teddy is a series of children's books from Ryan Cohen they believe he's using to secretly communicate with them, a la the Da Vinci Code. They believe Ryan Cohen registered the Teddy trademark to form a Kretsu, possibly under the name G-America, of various companies like BBBY, Blockbuster, and Sears to compete with Amazon. Thank you for your time. Your assistance is very much appreciated. Okay. So, aside from never, ever in a million years ever personally contact the judge about a case, ever, don't do it. It is the dumbest thing you could possibly do in your entire life. Ever. They can sanction you. They can fine you. They can hold your corpse in jail for contempt for wasting their time. The judge is very patient. The clerk is probably like, oh. So I think what the clerk wants is this idiot to put their name on a legal document and submit it as a motion so the judge can just slap them around. But basically what this guy is like, I know that nothing good is going to happen from Bed Bath & Beyond, and I want you to state unequivocally in the court that that Bed Bath & Beyond is dead and gone and never going to come back. Please do it for me because the remaster sub demands it. Oh my gosh. It's just so dumb. So incredibly stupid. I love it. But yeah, you guys know not to contact the court. We talked about this back when Rosa first filed her lawsuit against FINRA. People were like, I'm going to contact the judge. Do not contact the judge. Do not contact a federal judge at that. Like, man, the power those dudes wield is insane. So don't do that. They will gladly just throw your ass in jail for like a month for contempt and then make you pay a giant fine. But what's funny is like they believe the nulls are like an asset that could be used for tax benefit. That's literally what they are. They're an asset that could be used for tax benefit. The net operating losses. You make a profit, you can take those net operating losses, subtract that from your profit, and not pay tax on it. That is entirely their point. Who was the guy that what was his name? It's or lady, I don't know. Inpinicky. INPHINICKY@gmail.com. Just so stupid. I love it. I can't get enough of Inpinicky. Just brightens my day. The judge is like, but please, Inpinicky, take the instructions that the clerk forwarded you. Please make a motion demanding that the judge address this. Please. Oh my God, please do it. It'll be, just please do it. I'd love to see what the court does. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, no, I have not done the actual intro yet. So, doink. No, doink. How come it's doing a little blink thing on me now? That's weird. Okay, turn off the intro. We've had enough intros already. Boom. Okay, so, what else? Meta, Facebook, had absolutely killer earnings, beat expectations, huge billions of dollars in profit, and the stock got hammered down. Tesla missed earnings by 53%. No, sorry, missed earnings by 9%. Revenue was down by, net income was down by 55%. Earnings were down by 53%. Cash flow was down by 674%. And Elon was audibly high during the earnings call, and the stock flew $20. All based on like, no, we're going to build cheap vehicles. And then the head of engineering quit, and the head of investor relations quit, and another vice president quit all in the last 3 weeks. So I don't know who they're going to use to make those new vehicles. They're going to do robo-taxis, but their full self-driving still can't be allowed to be on its own without somebody paying attention, holding the steering wheel at all times. So I don't know what they're going to use for full self-driving for robo-taxis if that program doesn't work at all. Cybertrucks, 100% of Cybertrucks have been recalled. Apparently taking your Cybertruck through the car wash voids your warranty. So this is a truck, remember, it was supposed to serve as a boat, temporary boat. It can float. It's a temporary boat. But it can't go through a car wash because where the trunk closes, right? There's a panel gap. In that panel gap, water goes in and it collects on the support beam, which is next to a bunch of wires, and it will slosh over and short out all the wires. So apparently you can't go through a car wash. You can't use it as a boat. Apparently you should probably take it out in a downpour if that can't go through a car wash. So it's pretty remarkable that the stock is flying. It blows my mind. And at least I got my puts for September, so they can sit there, and there'll be another drop at some point because Elon will do something really dumb. And they're laying off like 20,000 people. So there's that. Ludicrous Speed was first. On the Entity was second. Kelly Reed was third. Kelly Reed also says, Houston, did you hear about the regulators told to be ready to handle failed clearinghouses? They plan to bring in bail-in bonds to help stabilize the failed bank clearinghouses. Shit's getting real. Yes, and my guess is some of those bonds are going to be like freakish 100-year bonds. Because you do a giant bond now, 100 years from now, when you owe the principal, you don't care. Because inflation and all that stuff. Like imagine you took out a $10 million bond in 1910, right? It's for 100 years. And with that $10 million bond, you basically could purchase half the United States. I mean, they got Alaska for 12 million. Louisiana purchased for 3 million, right? You could quite literally become a robber baron overnight. If you had a 100-year bond, you take that $10 million, you invest it in the S&P 500, you would have like, I don't know, $1 trillion today. So then when it came time your principal was owed in 2010, you're like, here you go, whatever, who cares? Fuck off. So yeah, that's probably what they're going to do. But yeah, I think they know that what's coming. No one has the capital for it. They can see the balance sheets. They can see the like trillions of dollars in derivatives that JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and Nomura and everyone else is liable for. They can see just how much margin has gone to all these hedge funds and all of these family funds. They know that an $800 million family fund destroyed Credit Suisse. And not only did it destroy Credit Suisse, we saw wording recently. There was a big conference this last weekend. And about 8 hours into the conference hearing, a former member of the Fed was like, hey, man, in 2018, we knew Credit Suisse was going to die. This is 3 years before Archegos finally went kaput, right? And we didn't do anything about it. And now we know that they're too big. They're too big to fail. They're also too big to bail out. Not only that, they're Swiss. They're not American. So if UBS goes under because of what they took on from Credit Suisse, the Swiss are on their own. There's nothing we can do about it because as Americans, it's hard enough to get the American people public behind bailing out banks because everyone sees banks as the most evil fucking assholes in the entire world. And they don't like bailing them out. They know it's a necessary evil because you need to have that capital moving around. And then they go, oh, fine. And they bail them out. They don't like it. No one likes it. But they will not bail out a foreign-owned bank. Like, was that even an American bank? And we're going to have to spend like $1 trillion bailing them out? No. Let the Swiss die on their own. And that's kind of where we are, is that Switzerland does not have the population to take on the liabilities of a bank that big. And you've got other countries that have huge, giant banks that have taken big risks. Luxembourg, right? Cyprus. These countries have banks that are way bigger than what their population can handle. At the moment, I think UBS liabilities is something like $40,000 per Swiss citizen. Absolutely insane numbers. Like, yeah, Swiss people, they make a pretty good living, but not like, hey, every single one of you are going to have to pay an extra $40,000 to save our central bank, who has to bail out the bank that our country has because they got their fingers in too many pots around the globe and they screwed up. The Swiss people are not going to put up with that. And, what comes from the ashes? Who knows? Like the domino effect that will have across the board and everybody. But yeah, shit's getting real. Coffee, donuts, and Homer. That Build-A-Bear stock is doing good. Okay. Jason Blackwell, Houston. My wife and I had a heart-to-heart conversation, and we came to the decision to not have any children. So if you'd like some, forward your address, and I'll drop them off. Alex Bishop is here. He's Ford. Actually, I think you're Sixt. Meister's here. Dan Holcomb is here. Michael Harrow, Houston. Cue up that American Dilutes intro. Yeah. Anyway, Legs Hidden Productions. Houston. Did I screw myself by opting out of the class action settlement for Acme parent company? I was confused. Can you explain? A fish wears a mattress, goes mariners. It was. I don't think it was the lawsuit for the parent company. Oh no, it was the parent company. Yeah. I don't need a penny for all that crap to deal with whatever things I'm going to have to agree to on it. So I just opted out. I don't think you screwed yourself anyway. I just like, what am I going to do with $1? $100, whatever it's going to give me. It won't be that much. It'll be like $10. So I don't need that. They can go fuck themselves. Pomerantz, all those guys that file these lawsuits all the time on behalf of short hedge funds to screw over companies that they're trying to short, they can just suck an egg. Yeah. But screw yourself. You'll get a check for like $1 in the mail. And they'll be like, dude, thank you so much. And that'll be about it. Michael Steegs. I see Politicus questioning Robinhood about taking away the buy button, but they are not asking about the sold but not delivered shares. Maybe what they're doing is only for show? Well, Robinhood isn't in charge of the sold not yet delivered. That's the market makers. And I think everyone is aware of what the market makers do, but I think they're too scared to address it. Because if they were to go to Citadel or Virtue or Canaccord Genuity or GPS or any of those guys, and they were to GTS, sorry, and they were to say, hey, you know those like $100 billion in liabilities you ding dongs have? You're gonna have to make good on that. They don't have the money for it. It would immediately just blunk, and you'd have nobody processing orders in the market all of a sudden. It would take a little while for others to come in and take it over. And it's one of those, like, if you owe the bank $1,000, that's a you problem. If you owe the bank $1 billion, that's the bank's problem. And right now, these guys owe $100 billion, and it's an everybody problem as a result. So I think politicians and banks and the SEC and everyone else knows there's this giant glaring problem, but they just can't look it in the eyes because they're afraid they'll turn to stone if they do. So I think that's where we are. So they're like making what little show they can to be like, oh, we're paying attention, but they know the real problem is those market makers and the hedge funds that the market makers all seem to own. Ponzi's. Cheshire, Houston. Since BBBY is a public bankruptcy, does the public have a right to see all the redacted info at any point? What do you think of the two-plan hypothesis? Thanks for all you do, Houston. They do have a right to see it, but the court also has a right to hold it until various plays are done. And yes, there are two plans. I don't think it's a hypothesis. The court stated it in filings that there's a reorganization plan and there's a liquidation plan, and Goldberg's in charge of the liquidation plan, and we have no idea who's in charge of the reorganization plan or what is in the reorganization plan, because that's not public. That's privileged information. It is being held, and there's a whole bunch of redactions in there as well. They spent $213,000 on redactions recently. That's a lot of money to spend on redactions. Somebody's got to go through and all that stuff. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah, so it will become public at some point when this is all done. Until then, there's trade secrets going on and private deals that could affect stock prices. So the court is holding it all back until they go, ta-da, and we see what it is. Cheshire says, tweets from MonkeyBot. Does Chupa ever get treats? I try to give Chupa treats, and he stares at it, and he's like, he doesn't do anything. So if it's not in his food dish, he really does not function as a cat. You're just a little loaf, a big old burnt loaf on the floor. MonkeyBot will get treats, but probably in like 35 minutes. What do you think? 35 minutes? That sound good? Sure, eyeballs are going around. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. There's a lot of Canada articles today stating rates must be cut if government wants to avoid crash. Either way, isn't the market going to crash? Yes. If you want absolute runaway inflation in Canada, which is kind of where your real estate has already gone, do it. It will be awesome for me when I go to Whistler next winter because the exchange rate will be like 30%. I'll be able to get my lift tickets for like $15 a day. I'll be able to stay in a penthouse for like $60 a night. It'll be pretty darn fantastic. So, yeah. So, yeah, there you go. And it's your friend, HW. You following the Trump trials? A little bit. There was an article that came out, I believe it was Tuesday evening, stating that the Secret Service is panicking because it seems likely the judge is going to hold Trump for contempt. Now, they don't know if the judge would hold Trump in contempt because he's been violating his gag order. He's been told specifically to not talk about the lawyers, not talk about the court, not talk about court employees, not talk about witnesses. And he's been on Truth Social ragging on all of them against that court order. So the articles that were talking about what the Secret Service would do if Trump was held in contempt basically state the Secret Service is going to have to be in jail with Trump, right, to protect him in jail. But they don't know if the judge would tack it on when the court case is concluded. Be like, okay, the case is over. Mr. Trump, you're going to be spending 6 weeks in contempt at, Rikers Island or whatever, and have fun. Or if the judge would remand him while the case is going on, and if that's the case, then Trump would remain in jail throughout the case and not be allowed in the courtroom. He would have to zoom in. He'd be on Zoom in an orange jumpsuit on a big screen watching the court happen. So, either way, it'd be hilarious. But I don't think it's going very well for Trump's defense attorney so far. The judge basically said, the prosecutor said, hey, we're not going to give you witness lists in advance because Trump screams and yells at the witnesses in violation of the court order, and we can't have him, tampering with these witnesses. And the defense was like, excuse me, but that's not normal. And the judge is like, yeah, it's not normal because your client can't keep his mouth shut and he's being held in contempt. And so, yeah, we're not going to require the prosecution to give us a witness list ahead of time. They can just call any damn witness they want. That's your fault for having a crappy client. So it's pretty interesting. My guess is it'll probably go on for another 2 weeks or so, and then they'll send the jury to deliberate, and who knows how long that will take. But if he gets convicted, so it's what's 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks from now is like 10th of May. So that means you could definitely see a sentencing before June if he gets convicted. And I think it's 3 to 5 years for every single charge he has. I doubt they would do the maximum on him, although the judge seems like he's pretty sick of Trump's behavior at this point, so he may just give him the maximum just to be like, screw you. So Trump may be in New York jail by the end of June. Depends on when he has to report, which would be perfect timing for the upcoming Republican National Convention. Then he's got, 3 more cases, 2 federal, 1 in Georgia, plus a huge number of indictments went out in Arizona for election fraud. And in that is Rudy Giuliani, Jenna Ellis, Mark Meadows, Boris Epstein, that Russian ghoul. And Trump is named as unindicted co-conspirator 1. And my guess is in Arizona, what they're doing is they're going to put the screws to those 11 people that got indicted and be like, look, we've got you dead to rights. What I want you to do for either reduced plea, immunity, whatever, is you're going to turn on Trump and you're going to testify against him. And one of those sad sacks is going to do it. I mean, Giuliani is owed like $1 kajillion by Trump, and Trump hasn't sent him a dime. And that like little slime ball is going to turn in a minute. And, Trump did it all. And it's going to be what happens. And then Arizona will probably indict Trump, so he'll be in a 5th jurisdiction facing felony charges. It already might be happening in Michigan. It already might be happening in Nevada as well. It's pretty remarkable. We're in a weird time. Other crappy court stuff. The New York appellate court overturned Harvey Weinstein's conviction. They said that the judge in that case was not allowed to bring in character witnesses, which were 70 women who were like, he raped me, because it didn't pertain to the particular women for the rape charges that Weinstein was facing. So the New York DA says that he's going to retry him, because with a mistrial you can retry somebody. With acquittal you can't. So there's no double jeopardy involved. But Weinstein still has faced like 16 years in California, so he's just going to go from New York jail to California jail until he gets retried again. So I find it weird because you're allowed to bring in character witnesses in cases like that. So it was a split decision. It was 4-3 in the New York appellate court on that one. That you can't bring in character witnesses. They're like, this person did horrible things to me, just like he's accused of doing to them. I mean, I think that's a judge's discretion situation, but the appellate court seemed to be like, no, the judge shouldn't have done that. Oh well, at least he's going to be still in jail in California. Pen name. Short position profit gains on bankrupt Sears Blockbuster used as collateral. Can 99% of AMC short position be used as collateral? If AMC not bankrupt? I don't know enough about that, honestly. I don't know about that at all. I'll have to look that up. I don't know. If anyone knows about short position claims being used as collateral, let me know. I know cash can be used as collateral. So if you got a whole bunch of cash on hand as a result of those short positions, my guess is you can use as collateral for other plays. You just turn that cash into a commodity of some kind, you're probably good to go. Yeah. I don't know about that at all. Coffee Jones and Homer. BBW has a small float. Big Beautiful Women. Those little kids who build a bear. Oh, build a bear. That's what BBW is. Is that right? It's like BBWs? The small float? I thought BBWs had big floats. Jimmy could acquire those little kids who build the bears would grow up to be gamers. It's interesting. Interesting merger target. Huh. Yeah. All right. Sterler says, hey, chat, listen to Louis Cole's new song, Things Will Fall Apart. Send me the video for it. It's fantastic. Louis, I'm really enjoying your subreddit, Mr. Wade. Lots of diverse things get posted there, which mostly tie back to your enjoyable show. We are getting crazy traffic. I never imagined that we'd get as much outsider traffic in there. There's a few things that really draw in strangers to it. It must be something in the algorithm. If you mention Javier Milei, who's the weirdo president of Argentina, a cajillion people show up. If you mention Kanye West, a cajillion people show up. If you mention Marjorie Taylor Greene, a million people show up. It's very, very weird what Reddit does, because they'll take posts from the subreddit and they'll throw them into people's main feeds like, hey, you might be interested in this, and then all of a sudden a bunch of strangers show up. It's really weird, but it's caused the subreddit to grow like logarithmically recently. There are like 2,400, 2,500 people in the subreddit, and yeah, post interesting things in there. And if you need more ideas for post flare, let me know. I'm sure there's other post flares I could put in there. But yeah, there's we got news, you got financial news, you got weird science stuff, we got funny memes. Throw it all in there. I don't believe that the subreddit should be kept to like one topic. You guys are a diverse group of people. You think and see lots of things. Throw them in there. Just don't be a Nazi. That's kind of the big rule. Like, no shills, no Nazis, and we're pretty good to go after that. G-Font, HW, thought you were John Schneider. Tonight you are John Schneider. What position are the Hawks using their first round pick on? I mean, everyone in Seattle wants them to pick Michael Penix, but the Seahawks don't need a quarterback. Penix would probably love to be in Seattle. And he should be definitely drafted much higher than where a lot of folks have him. He is an amazing quarterback and a fantastic athlete. He's the fastest quarterback in the draft by far. I think he posted one of the fastest 40 times out of any player. But what the Seahawks are probably going to do, I don't think you ever have to worry about a first rounder for an offensive line person, but the Seahawks desperately need an offensive line. The run game gets stifled and their quarterbacks are stuck running for their lives because the offensive line is really porous. The NFL is one of those things where everyone who's a quarterback at the NFL level has been a stud their entire life. Absolute manimal. Probably set school records at everywhere, every step along the way, high school, college, whatever. They get to NFL. And I think the problem is in the NFL is that for the most part, defensive lines are stronger in general than offensive lines. And a lot of these young quarterbacks, they've been studs their entire life. And in college, I think they're fairly evenly matched. And they start getting absolutely stomped by these pass rushes who just bleed through the lines and they just end careers. And anyone who has a hell of an offensive line in front of them will look like an absolute MVP Hall of Famer. You can put your grandma in a pocket for 10 seconds and she's going to throw for 300 yards a game. Tom Brady, when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, he was paid $20 million a year, which is for a quarterback who has a whole bunch of rings is not very much at all. I mean, you got quarterbacks now who are getting 30, 40, $50 million a year and they have no rings to show for it. And Tom Brady took $20 million because he had Tampa Bay put 5 Pro Bowlers on the offensive line in front of him. And he had the highest paid offensive line in all of football. And at 410 years old, won a Super Bowl because he didn't have to scramble for his life. So I think I think the Seahawks will probably pick whoever is the best offensive lineman in all of college football in the 16th pick, or they'll trade down and do the same thing because you really don't. Most offensive linemen don't get paid very much. They're usually not first rounders. You usually waste that on offensive, your running backs, your quarterbacks, and your wide receivers. But Schneider likes to trade down. He had a huge success in the draft where they got Sherman and Russell Wilson and those guys. They've not had very good success since then trading down. Usually they're like, we'll just get as many players as possible, and we'll have a huge competition at our spring practices. But I think they need offensive line. They need it. They need to be able to get the running backs holes that they can run through, and they need to give the quarterback like 2 extra seconds so they can go through and find somebody who's open. Because right now they go, all right, here we go. I got to run for my life. Someone's going to kill me. And they run around a whole bunch. And Russell Wilson was really good at that, but Russell Wilson's slow and he plays for somebody else now. But yeah, there you go. Pen name. If there's 10 billion naked shorts, how much must Adam Aaron dilute to prevent MOAS? Please include recently created naked. I think it would be pre-reverse split would be the 10 billion. So they did a 10-to-1 reverse split, which means there's 1 billion naked shorts now. And he could easily dilute to stop that from happening. Because he has to sell 1.5 to 2.5 billion shares in order to pay off the debt so they can make a profit. Right now, their net losses are around 400 million a year, which is almost exactly what the interest is on their loans. So he's got to pay that off. And yeah, they're going to have to, if MOAS comes around, he's going to dilute into it so much, and maybe he'll be able to dilute into it at $100 a share and sell a fraction of the number of shares he needs to, which would be fantastic. They'll be good to go. But potentially he can do billions. I think it allows him, 5 billion shares is what he's allowed to do via what's authorized to be sent. So he can do several billion if need be. And I'm off. What are your thoughts on contrarian investment strategy pertaining to options trading? More often than not, the market doesn't follow expectations. I feel like I need to do contrarian 100% of the time at this point. I've been getting absolutely manhandled. Hey, the earnings were fantastic. Cool, let's crush the stock into the ground. The earnings were absolute dog shit. Oh my God, buy. It's crazy. So, Nanamoth, yeah, contrarian might be the way to go when it comes to those things. But then you get weird stuff like last quarter, Meta announced a 50-cent dividend. And everyone, oh my God, the stock price flew $50 overnight. So, just nothing makes sense ever. The world stopped making sense. You make sense. You sleep and are fuzzy and pettable. So that makes sense to me, right? That's right. And your blanket's still in the dryer, so you have no blanket at the moment. She's like, oh, no blanket. Michael Harrow, what does your crystal ball predict as MOAS Day? Man. MOAS Day. I like pick a date, right? Let's just pull out. My crystal ball is very cloudy. How about the last Wednesday in May? That's MOAS. There you go. Arbitrary. Ba-da-bum-bum. Well, pen name. Most shills and FUD is for AMC even today. If Aaron can prevent MOAS, then why waste money on FUD? Whoa. What has happened? Just had to blink in the power. What the world? My light just turned off. Why did my light turn off? Weird. Very weird. Okay. Surge in power. Internet still going? Internet is still going. Okay. All right. So power blink, but internet's still going. Well, FUD's cheaper than ever paying your bills. That's for sure. You can FUD all day long, pay your bills. But also on the AMC side, you have a whole bunch of AMC investors who got absolutely screwed by Adam Aaron. So you have a whole bunch of legitimately pissed off people. What is going on? Why is power cycling on my... That's weird. What in the world? Anyway, you have a whole bunch of people who've lost 99% of their investment in AMC. I tried telling everyone that was about to happen, and they called me a shill. But Adam Aaron earns what, $200 something million in compensation for his company to not post a profit since he became in charge. He every step along the way, he sells shares to short hedge funds. He overcompensates himself and other board members, and then they dump those shares in the market, diluting the float even further. He may be great running a company. He's not great at running this company. So I think that's the big problem. Is they pissed off a whole bunch of people who've lost a whole bunch of money, and so we might have shills still be like, shilling away, but you have a whole bunch of people too who got burned and saw exactly how they got burned and why and what Adam Aaron did to them to destroy their investment. This was a company that was 85% owned by shareholders. Shareholders should have, under any pretense, had full control of the company. And he screwed them all over. He gave 30% of equity to a short hedge fund. He made deals with short hedge funds to basically crash the stock price whenever. And anytime there's a slight bump in the price right now, he throws another 25 million shares in the market. and hammers the price right back down again. Remember, your stock price is at 20 cents pre-split. So if you want to get to all-time highs, you got to get to $770. That's just not going to happen when the guy has the ability to throw as many shares in the market he wants whenever the price goes up 10 cents. So that's where we are. Javier Martinez, saw you posted highest housing defaults since 2013. Yes, we have the highest defaults since 2013. Let me get the little graphic here. Come on. You can do it. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on. My goodness. Sorry. Reddit's being a dork. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There we go. Okay, so this little graph here. Come on, get big. Oh, get big. That's what I want. Delinquency rates, multifamily housing. This is from Bloomberg and National Bureau of Economic Research. So our defaults peaked about 2010, 2011. That was the absolute bottom of the market. 2008, we actually didn't have too many defaults happening, and it was leading up into 2009 when the default spiked. We are currently much, much higher than that right now. This spike is from when folks stopped getting money during the pandemic, and they couldn't pay rents, and landlords couldn't cover it, and people who had bought rental homes and everything were having problems. But yeah, defaults are definitely climbing. They're the highest is 2013. They're pretty darn close to the peak that we had 2010, and it's trending up. So, and I think a lot of these defaults here are short-term rentals or Airbnbs, VRBOs, those guys that are currently defaulting. So a lot of speculative buying happened in recent years to buy those things. And that's where we are. Pen name. If Aram can prevent MOAS, why not stop wasting money suppressing AMC? Let stock price explode. Then Aram can dilute 1 trillion shares, problem solved. Aaron won't. Because that's not his job. His job is to make sure the price never explodes. That's why he dilutes whenever the stock price goes up like 10 cents. So he could, if you got Adam Aron out of there, and you told him to fuck off and you got a new CEO, and the new CEO is like, yeah, we're not going to sell shares in the market until the stock price is absolutely insane, and then we'll sell a few here and there like GameStop did, then yes, you could do good. But he's not doing that, man. Every time you utter those 3 letters AMC, you'll continue the power surges. Good one. Okay. All right. Where was I? Yogi, another round of disc golf, and today about 6 beers. This sport is amazing. The restaurant, my friend's restaurant I help out in, on Tuesdays, all the guys go and play Frisbee golf. That's like the evening I work, and they're never there. They're like, let's do it on Tuesdays. Houston won't be able to play with us. Scott Paulin, about to buy a metric F-ton of batteries at GameStop. All right. Oddly, the cheapest battery on the block. Cheaper than Costco? Fred Jones, at Houston, at one point, the market was down 668 points. Is this the beginning of the end? I think there is a lot of quaking going on. I mean, the market is completely overinflated. We can look up what the Buffett index is currently at. Let's see here. Buffett index. Buffett indicator evaluation model. That's what we want. Come on. Come on, internet. You can do this. Come on, my friend. Come on, open that page. Open that page. Open that page. Open it. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Are you gonna open this thing ever? Come on. Come on. All right, let me look at the CMCBC one. We can. That's 2000. Oh, that's April 9th. Okay, that's pretty recent. Come on, open something. Come on, internet. Here we go. Okay, this is from the 9th. So this is from about 2 weeks ago. And Buffett indicator. That's what we want. One Buffett's favorite stock market indicator is flashing red, dangerously close to reaching the number he says playing with fire. So it says it's the Buffett indicator is straightforward. Stock investments to outpace the growth of U.S. businesses significantly. The market's valuation relative to GDP must increase continually. If a gross national product is going to grow 5% a year and you want the market value to go up 10%, they need to have a line go straight off the top of the chart. He noted that when the ratio is 70% to 80% range, meaning the stocks are worth about 70 to 80% of what the gross national product is, stock purchases tend to be highly beneficial for investors. Conversely, a ratio nearing or exceeding 200%, similar to what was observed in the late 90s and early 2000s, suggests a really highly risky market environment. Currently, the indicator is hovering around 190%, which could herald a market downturn. Historical data supports this concern, as a previous surge of 211% in 2022 is followed by a 19% decline in the S&P 500 over the subsequent year. In 2001, this indicator was not just flashing, it was in the red zone, highlighting an overvaluation that contributed to the bursting of the dot-com bubble. This led to stock market crashes, particularly affecting technology companies that had reached unsustainable valuations. The fallout was a reduction in investor confidence, leading to a decrease in investment and consumer spending, which further impacted the economy. So yeah, so the Buffett indicator is at 190% right now. And it should be a 1-to-1. That's what basically the Buffett indicator is saying, is your stock valuation should be about 1-to-1 to your gross national product. And once below that, buy. Once above that, be very conservative with your purchases. So yeah, I think a big correction is in store, and that correction coincides with, say, the real estate market being worth absolutely nothing. And with commercial real estate, with office spaces, we're at 20% distressed. And of that 20%, 44% is in default. So that essentially means about, what's 44% of 20? I mean, just, how many are in default with this? This is, 0.44 times 20. That is 8.8% of all commercial real estate is in default at the moment across the entire country. That is a ridiculous number. These numbers that we had for the housing defaults, right? These housing defaults are at a fraction of percent, and they're too high. With commercial real estate, we're at 20. This is 0.3%, and people are like, oh, right? 20%, or 8.8%, I guess. 8.8%. One in five are distressed. 8.8% is in default. That's not sustainable. Something's going to give, and these banks are going to blink out of existence, and a whole bunch of people aren't going to know what to do. And the FDIC is going to be completely overwhelmed. And yeah, right, you little monster. You don't care. As long as you got treats, you're fine, right? You don't care. You don't care one whit. Okay. Full Tilt Banana. Someone posted on the Meltdown sub and got a lot of kickback from people, and he deleted it. What did they post on the Meltdown sub? The letter? Snare alert. While using the Shill's court letter as straight brain damage. Did AC John write this? Even the Meltdowners think this is stupid. Because they know, the Meltdowners are smart enough to know, like, you don't write the judge these things. That's dumb. Edward Houston, the jackhole that emailed the judge and blamed PP for telling to buy BBY and lost their money. That's not true. I blame you and every day for the rest of my life, and I'll thank you for it. If cargo cult are those whom enjoy cargo pants, they are a small group equipped with pocket room. It's true. Cargo pants for life. Merv, I don't like these people. Tell them they're really stupid, please. Just in case, G-Font, you're from Calgary? Never heard of it. Yes, he is. Katie Sweaty, Houston. Maniacally, we said we're gonna make millions. We made it. We made it a month or so, right? For sure. Have an opinion and don't be afraid to say it. Hope some see it now. Well, I hope, man. Fingers crossed. Turkish wants to know where the money Lebowski is. I don't know. Katie Sweaty. Smart as hell, and I respect Houston very much. Just saying, maybe not buy or sell stuff based on YouTubers. That's true. Michael Steegs, Houston. Are you going to use Threads? I have a Threads account, but I have not used it at all. I pretty much am on Blue Sky because that's where all the funny shit posters from Twitter went. I know Threads has like more engagement. They've got 150 million daily users right now, which is like, 10 times what Blue Sky has. But I'm on enough social media at the moment. So Blue Sky works for me. Sincere, a Thursday show, and I caught it. Awesome. That's because I was too tired to do a show last night. I spent all day cleaning, and then I threw the baseball way too hard, and then I wanted to nap, and I didn't want to do a show. So I didn't do one last night. But today, here we are, with a sore arm and everything. Sincere 206, Ted Cruz sold $500,000 worth of Goldman stock. His wife works for the company. Crash coming? It is very interesting. It's the first time they've ever sold Goldman at all, ever, in the time that they've had it. I think outside of like selling for tax reasons. Yeah. His wife sold off some in 2019. I think what she had to sell off 2018 was to pay for taxes on her distribution of shares. So it's interesting that they're selling off Goldman. Goldman's got a lot of liabilities, man. Pen name 99%. Sorry, I missed this one. 99% profit can't be used as collateral forever while making new naked liabilities, borrowing high interest in the black equals lipstick on a pig. That's true. If you're continuing to short now, you are creating more liabilities, but it's going to take a lot. I mean, if you made 99% from 770 on down to $2, you're going to be able to basically short another 375 times the number of shares you did back then, now, before you're going to be feeling it. So that's the problem. That's the problem with dilution and reverse splits. Reverse splits just ruin investors. They might keep your stock listed for a while, but it's going to destroy the investors along the way. Blah, blah, blah. This week on The Daily Show, they interviewed a woman about modern money theory. Have you heard of it? What do you think? Attempted MOAS escape plan? I will have to look up the modern money theory. I don't know enough about it. What I saw the Stewart episode with what's his butt? Satanic Verses. My brain's broken. Anyway, I've not seen the other episodes yet. I'll have to look up modern money theory. John Vasquez is here. Fish phones. I'm 25 minutes late. Got back from work, so I'm catching up on 1.75 speed. See you live soon. Kathy Reed. Canada's retail sales fall, missing expectations. More and more buildings are also put on freeze with how expensive building costs are. Canada's in a very weird spot. They're in a weird spot I don't think they've ever have really been before. I mean, we're talking like 600 square foot homes in Toronto are $2 million. That's not sustainable. I mean, the people in Canada are not making $400,000 a year to afford places like that. I don't know how anyone is doing it. Foreign investment and private equity are driving the cost of homes, and there's no reason it should be doing that, or reason why they should be letting them do that. I know that Canada's government has basically been using their deficit spending to buy up mortgage-backed securities. Basically be like, hey, we're going to at least have control of these homes, and saving those banks who are going underwater on them. I think if Canada put in a law that said you must be a resident in order to purchase property in Canada, and basically outlawing private equity from owning private homes, I think that would do a lot of good. It would force a lot of places to suddenly go onto the market, bringing the price back down to reality, which will not help folks who are depending on equity in their homes currently. But you cannot let the home prices get out of control forever. You just can't. They'll come crashing down one way or the other. And I think you want them coming crashing down in a way that allows folks who don't have homes to get homes. Probably better than anything. Danny Batchelor, Houston getting closer, stunting on those hoes. John Vasquez, you have a cool name, almost as awesome as Dallas. Citizen 54. The observed arrest mass of a proton is literally due to Hawking radiation of a mini black hole. All protons are black holes. That got posted. I made a comment on the post in the subreddit that I don't quite agree with it, because the entire point of a black hole is that gravity is so strong that other forces can't do their thing. But protons have to obey the strong nuclear and the weak nuclear forces. And they have to obey electromagnetic forces. So gravity isn't so strong that doesn't allow them to interact. And like when a white dwarf, the core of an old star collapses, chunk, you get like a type 2 supernova, that's because the electron degeneracy was overcome, and all the electrons and protons combined and made this giant slurry of neutrons. So the protons no longer exist in neutron star. And when a neutron star collapses into a black hole, all those neutrons become a singularity, meaning it overcomes all the nuclear forces, strong nuclear, weak nuclear, every force you can imagine gets overcome by the force of gravity, the gravitational pressure pulling in. So I don't think it's quite accurate to say that every little proton is technically a mini black hole, because nothing is falling into the protons and getting stuck. And we can look into protons and see quarks. Yeah. It doesn't sit well with me, that whole hypothesis. Citizen 54, sorry Houston for spamming the sub. I see it's free real estate. I use it, lol. No, throw interesting things into the sub. Please do, at all times. Again, no shill crap, no Nazi crap. We're pretty good. Would not, did you know Tully from PP Show is an actor? His short film Catatonic is on YouTube. Cool. Right on. Kevin Rainen, happy birthday Houston, Shills and Shambles. They're shaking and quaking. Matthew Mendigurin. Offensive tackles go first round pretty often. Nah, you're not gonna take offensive tackle. 16th? I guess some of those guys go first round technically. With 16th pick, they can get hopefully someone really good who's not going to fall apart and be a giant draft bust. And they'll be cheaper than any quarterbacks, running backs, or wide receivers you're going to draft. Frozen State Productions, Fidelity erased my records at BBY. They know nothing on the Chapter 11, and I have my screenshots in case they try to screw me. Good. But also, check I think it's the October statement, maybe the November statement. It's one of those two. It should show in there the reorg code on Bed Bath & Beyond, because we know there's a reorganization plan and there's a reorg code in the statement, and all you have to do is call the compliance officer and be like, hey, look, we know this is in reorganization. I just want to verify that if new equity is issued to old shareholders, that I'm getting that. And the compliance officer should go, yeah, you're going to get it. We've had 10 million of you people call me. Yes, you're going to get it. And they can be like, it's never going to happen. But regardless, get that sucker on record. Copy and paste is here. Pen name, FUD. Reverse psychology. Most shills and FUD is for AMC even today. If Aaron can prevent MOAS, then why waste money on FUD? It's not a waste. If your goal is to FUD away, it's cheaper than paying. So it's just two-pronged attack. You FUD, and you have Adam Aaron do your dirty work for you as well. You want to cover all your bases. Show overwhelming force. That's why. Treetop. Adam Aaron is just doing everything by the book. It's exactly what is taught in business schools. Exactly. And the people who teach in business schools work at Boston Consulting. First Day Productions. I've been reading Whitney Webb's book on Epstein. He was bad with the girls, but also a genius with Ponzi schemes. He was able to arrange things, keeping his name off the record. Check her out. Okay, Whitney Webb's book. I'll write that down. Whitney Webb. What's the book called? I'll write that down too. I just lost my spot. Where am I? There it is. Okay. Frozen State Productions. Oh, I just read that one. Duh. Alex Bishop, I don't think AA will happily retire at all. I mean, he's got plenty of dough. He's going to be doing just fine. Copy and paste. Eyes wide open on MMTLP. James O'Keefe, April 2024. I wish James O'Keefe was not involved in any of this. The dude is facing so many allegations of fraud. But anyway, I guess any news is good news. Ape Ghost Moon Protocol. I just don't understand why not an at-the-money share offering to us. I haven't had money to buy many shares in GME or AMC since last year. Got 20 GME and 60 AMC at the moment. I mean, I talk about Adam Aaron. Adam Aaron's doing at the money right now, but he does it all at once. He sells, just drops like 25 million shares, and they all get sold in one day, and the price goes. When GME was doing their at the money, they would sell a few shares here and a few shares there. They only do it when the price was absolutely ridiculous then to sell that many, and the volume never affected the price, because the volume, they're selling 10 million shares over 3 months, and the volumes you're seeing are like 100 million a day and things like that. So it wasn't really affecting anything. But yeah, if you're going to sell out the money, you wait till the price goes bonkers. And then that way you don't have to sell very much, and then you don't have to have very much volume to ruin everything. J-Dog's got coordinates. Ooh, I'm excited. Let's coordinate it. Boop. Come on. Google Earth. There we go. J-Dog, where are we going? Come on. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to Merca. We're going to Arizona. We're going to right there. Where are we? We're in Arizona. We are at Blue Hole. Oh, it's Mexico. Sorry, not Arizona. Blue Hole, New Mexico. Okay. So it looks like a pond. It's a circular bell-shaped pool east of Santa Rosa, Mexico, that is one of the most popular dive destinations in the U.S. for scuba diving and training. It's a clear blue body of water with a constant 64-degree temperature, constant inflow of 3,000 gallons per minute, while the surface is only 80 feet in diameter, expands to a diameter of 130 feet at the bottom. Okay. What, Blue Hole, New Mexico. Come on. Blue Hole is a clear blue body of water, constant 60 degrees. The water in the pool originates deep underground, below 200 feet, 61 meters from the western edge of the Ogallala Aquifer. Blue Hole is an example of a natural artesian well, a type of well or spring fed by water under high pressure and of a cenote of a collapsed cavern exposing groundwater beneath. The cavern was formed by the dissolution of the limestone bedrock by groundwater carving caverns in the rock until the roof caved in. These type of things are really cool. There's a really cool one in France, in southern France, and they've had a few divers go down and explore, and it goes back and just forever. So it's one local legend states the passage may be connected to Carlsbad Caverns, one of the longest explored cave systems in the United States. However, the surface entrance to that cave is located 200 miles to the south. Since 1976, cave passages have been sealed off the public, by a metal grate installed by the city to prevent access from inexperienced divers. It was only allowed to be unsealed for mapping between 2013 and 2016 by ADM Exploration Foundation, an experienced cave exploration group. Hazards in the passage include frequent cave-ins, zero visibility due to silt, and extreme restrictions, meaning you get squeezed in there. Santa Rosa is at 4,600 feet. That's pretty high to have 64-degree constant temperature. At the site are visitor center, diver lockers, conference center, picnic tables, restrooms, diving platform, and a short wall surrounding the pool to prevent surface runoff from fouling the clarity of the water. The pool is open for public use, including picnic, swimming, diving, and snorkeling. However, there are no lifeguards on duty. Interesting. Well, cool. Here's a picture of it. That's pretty neat looking. 64 degrees. Who wants to go take a dip in a blue hole? Thank you. Excellent. I dig it. Where was that? And said, go Mariners. Go Mariners. Mariners won today. So that's 2 of 3 from the Rangers. First place in the American League West. So, hey, they apparently have turned it on. So, fantastic, Mariners. Daniel Holcomb. I don't think the Buffett index takes degens into account. That's a lot of people don't take degens into account. Snort alert, Iggy. I always like your tweets. Will you come back or did you quit entirely? Thanks in advance. I don't know if Iggy's been tweeting. Or if he has, I don't know. James, have you heard anything about MMTLP? No. Nothing new. I reached out to Rosa because it's after Ramadan. I've not heard back from her. I'll reach out again. I want to bring her on. I want her to tell us what's going on and her opinions on everything. You know what time it is? It's this time. Yeah, you've been staring at me. I can see it. I can see it. That's right. I can see your little face looking at me, demanding. She's not looking at me. She's like staring straight at the nuggies up here. Look at there. Look at those eyeballs. She knows exactly where this hand is going. Yeah, is that what you wanted? Okay. We're opening the smelliest bag in the entire world. We'll pull out one of these little toothbrush looking things. Sweet potato flavor. Wow. All right. Come here. Get up here. Come on. All the way. Come on. Right there. Right there. See that toothbrush? You want it? It's sweet potato toothbrush. You can get it. Come on. It's right there. You come on. Come on, monkey. Come on. Oh, there you go. Happy dog time. We'll turn off the Nuggy Stare intro, Houston. There we go. Citizen 54, what country do you think will be the first to throw in the towel and set this whole thing off? If it's the USA, how bad can it hurt in the world stage considering what happened in 2008? Ooh. Japan is real close. The Japanese yen is collapsing. The government can't sustain the negative interest rates they had. They're having to raise interest rates, which is causing a big old constriction of the economy to happen. Then you got China. China is losing manufacturing capacity like crazy. Their entire real estate economy collapsed. That was 1/3 of their entire GDP. The youth don't have jobs. Then you got European banking. Santander's toast. Probably Deutsche Bank is toast. Deutsche Bank should have been destroyed a long time ago. HSBC. Then you got UK. UK's economy is in absolute shambles as a result of Brexit combined with everything else. Who is it going to be? Who's going to be the first one? I think everyone's waiting for somebody else to go down so they can blame them for it. That's probably what's happening. Is they're all like, man, it's going to happen. I really hope it's Japan first, or I really hope it's China first, or I really hope, like, just so that they can be like, look, this is contagion to spread. it was this other country. It's their fault. I mean, just like the pandemic, you want to blame everybody else for the pandemic. It won't be your fault. It's their fault. So, yeah. Julia says Japan. Japan is a good bet, I think, at this point. Saunders. My MC went to 8K thanks to Houston. I rode the wave, never returned. Attempted to diamond hand, so I didn't pay the trader, and now am learning how to trade futures. Cheers forever for learning. Well, I'm glad you're learning. League Lemon, Snurler. I will after we get paid from one of these plays, which I think will be soon. Okay. I saw someone misses my tweeting. Sis54, Patrice O'Neill is the greatest comic ever. I miss you, Patrice. Don't at me. I don't know. Have I ever seen Patrice O'Neill? I'll have to look her up. Snurler also says Iggy always had cool finds. Iggy does have cool finds and produces. He posts a lot for the subreddit too. So check out his posts on the subreddit. It's always interesting. Billy Ray Valentine, have you ever been right about any stock you talk about? What point do you stop the bullshit? Several times. What I'm always wrong about apparently is my options plays. So that's where things go wrong. Is when Houston decides to make an options play, he Kramers it. KLDG, on my way to make a finance test with my bitch. Wish me luck, sir. Thanks for calming my pre-test nerves. You're welcome. Dan Harris. Bears have a golden chance to trade down at least twice and stock their team with multiple first and second picks and keep their number 9. Oh, I was talking about football. I was like, Bears, like the Bears are making trades multiple times, like Bulls and Bears. Noted. The poor Bears. They've really had a rough go the last few years. Yeah. Snurler, what happened to Grandpa Barney? I don't know. I don't know where Grandpa Barney is. I haven't heard from him since last summer. I have his number. I should text message him, see what he's up to. Sis54, do you think the divest or be banned move by the government would backfire on Biden? Divest or be banned move by the government would backfire on Biden. Gen Z is run like Lord of the Flies. They are reactive to headlines and many lack deeper understanding of issues. Oh, we're talking about divesting from like Israeli defense contractors and stuff, which a lot of these students at colleges are demanding they do with their endowments. I mean, at the moment, most people agree with them. I just saw a poll. It was like 55% of Americans agree with what the protests have been about. I think Biden's big problem is he hates Netanyahu. Absolutely loathes the guy. He thinks he's an asshole. He thinks what he's doing in Gaza is wrong. He thinks how he's going about it is terrible. And he has no plans for the after effects of this giant bombing campaign. But the problem is he doesn't want to say that, and then people being pissed off that Biden is doing some sort of criticism leads suddenly to support for Netanyahu. I don't think that's going to happen personally. Netanyahu is incredibly unpopular in Israel right now. He has like a 7% approval rating. If elections were to today, Likud and he would be gone. They would just be out. They'd have like 2 seats in all of parliament, and that'd be about it. But there's going to be no election until the war is over. Because people are like, oh, don't change the horse in the middle of the race. Even though the whole reason there's a war going on is because of the horse you have in this race. So Netanyahu's entire way to save his skin, because he's facing criminal charges and convictions and jail time when he's no longer prime minister. So if he gets booted, he's done. He's going to jail. So his entire hope is to remain prime minister forever. And the only way he can do that is to keep snap elections from happening. And the only way to keep snap elections from happening is to make this war drag on forever as well. So he has no incentive to stop what he's doing at all. And Biden not saying anything while hoping that doesn't affect, politics in Israel, is affecting him here in the States with erosion from people on the left side of the spectrum being like, I can't support this guy. He's not doing the right thing, which is, hey, you don't need to be carpet bombing, and you're not achieving any of your goals. He needs to come out and say it. Like, Israel's not rescuing hostages. They're inadvertently killing them at this point. We had 20 hostages got gunned down by a group of Israeli soldiers. And they had painted in Hebrew, like, hey, our hostages here, save us. And when they came out with the white flag, the group gunned them all down. We have ones that got gassed in tunnels, ones that got bombed in tunnels. So if your goal of this war is, I'm going to save my hostages, you're not doing it. If it's, I'm going to kill Hamas, you're also not doing it, because Hamas leadership is not in Gaza. They are elsewhere in the world directing this thing from afar. I don't see any of their goals being achieved other than let's wipe out every school and hospital and residence we possibly can, and then make sure no aid gets to the people. That seems to be what they're doing, and that's just horrific. The people in Gaza are the prisoners of Hamas just as much as anyone else, and all this will breed more hate and contempt in the future, and that doesn't seem very productive to me. Seems like you're just going to create more enemies and more awfulness. And I don't know. I don't know what the ultimate solution is, but what's going on now is not the solution. And yeah. So, yeah. Fred Jones, Houston, is there a Cherry Tuesday candidate for next week? We're gonna do our annual World Central Kitchen on Tuesday. And we're going to be giving away another 50-cent wish item. Well, what's it going to be? Or multiple ones, depending on how much you guys manage to raise for charity. So yeah, the goal is $1,000. There goes one, item for 50-cent wish. If you get $1,500, there's two. If you get 2,000, there's three. Get 2,500, there's going to be 4 items going out. So the raffle will be exciting. But yeah, World Central Kitchen on Tuesday, the 30th for Charity Tuesday. Citizen 54 is dead now, but thanks to Patrice, I was able to understand so much more about people and understanding that being uncomfortable is growth. Okay. Kevin Rannon, UBS, Virtue, or Nomura, who craps the bed first? That's actually a really good question. I will say regional banks probably before those guys, personally. I think regional banks, some giant regional bank doesn't go bonk before those guys will. But of the three, I think Nomura. So maybe Julio was saying Japan. Nomura is less open about what their liabilities are. SoftBank is in weird trouble. Their Tiger hedge fund lost $17 billion last year. Although they've been riding the NVIDIA train really hard, making a lot of cash off that. But yeah, maybe SoftBank / Nomura. Yeah. See how that goes. Citizen 54, I meant the TikTok ban. I was looking for a lead, but Houston gave me gold. Much better topic. I forgot this huge issue. I have Middle East exhaustion at this point. Oh, you're talking about the TikTok ban on the backfire. That divest. The Gen Z people are pretty pissed off to begin with, but they don't vote in large numbers. If there's a huge turnout, they might be able to sink Biden in this one. But I have a feeling that Trump's going to be convicted before November, and the Republican Party is going to be in disaster zone because his daughter-in-law runs the party, and she can still funnel all of their campaign money to his companies and his legal defense, and make sure that no one has any cash going forward in that sucker. TikTok ban. I mean, the government is okay with American companies stealing all your data and giving it away to foreign interests, such as Facebook, Cambridge Analytica, and the Russians. 87 million American user data was stolen by Cambridge Analytica and literally given to the Russians. They said, here, Russian internet, what's it, RIS, the Russian internet service, whatever, have all of this user data on Americans and start targeting them during the election to do whatever you want. The U.S. government apparently was pretty okay with that. But if it's a foreign company immediately stealing all this data, well, has to be an American one, at least make some money off of it first. That's what happened. You have the American company, make some money off it, then you can steal all the data you want. Right, dude? Right? Yeah. Regardless, I think the big problem that they see about TikTok and its foreign ownership, yes, it's a Singapore company, but it's owned by the Chinese through a Singapore shell company, is that they have to do whatever the Chinese government tells them to do. And if they say, do this, do that, promote this, don't promote that, they have to do it because that's what their owners say. And that's where the big qualm is. It is the most popular social media platform for young people. If it blinks out of existence and disappears, then they're going to be doing the same short form video formats on another platform. Facebook has them, Snapchat has them, Instagram has them, YouTube has it. So those will all be, those will all be up for question. I don't know how long it affects him, because like Vine disappeared and everyone loved Vine, and then 3 months later they're like, what's Vine? So, short memories with the short attention span, people. Citizen 54, I'm very chatty today, but thank you, Houston. Your streams have taught me many things. I can honestly say I'm a changed person through perspective and knowledge. My tolerance is ever growing. Well, excellent. And TikTok was banned. I think it was passed by Congress. I don't think it's been signed by anyone. It was passed by the Senate, at least. I don't know if it's been passed by the House. Did it get passed by the House there, William? And Julio, they ID'd the writer of the letter, sent it via Blue Sky. Okay. Notifications. Here we go. All right. Boom. Oh, Earth, go away. Only got a couple minutes left here and I gotta run away. Looks like Mr. Nicholas Chung is behind the docket file today, 3066. The more interesting part is him having worked as a financier at the largest bank in Australia. You can't make this up. Shorts are totally, utterly oofed. Nicholas Chung, experienced financier, multi-skilled, multidisciplined. Seasoned experienced financier recently with the largest bank in Australia, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, multi-skilled, multidisciplined professional with proven record to coordinate, drive successful execution. Okay, so I heard that could be an Australian. I cannot read that at all. Experience. I don't see what they did. Where's They have anything that ties them to this? Just some dude. Oh, maybe here. Nope, not that one. Okay. Wait, how come that's not showing up? That's a completely different. That is different than that. So there, one more. Okay. Nope. All right. That just shows experience. Interesting. David Wright, Biden signed TikTok ban for better or worse. It's done. Oh, it did get finished today. All right. Okay, it's 4:30. I gotta get going. If you have more evidence on that, please send it my way. I'd love to see it. That's it. I gotta get going. I gotta get going, monkey butt. About to be sad dog time. That's okay. You're used to it. Loaf cat, just got his face completely on the ground. Everybody, I want you to have a great day. We will get to more later, and I'll see you on Monday, and I'll see you Tuesday, And who knows what other days I'll see you. So, have yourselves a great weekend. Go throw your baseballs and, watch the draft. Is the draft this weekend? Somewhere around now. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a great night. And, butterfly? Butterfly. Where'd you go? There you go. See that weird blink thing? It makes no sense to me.
Houston, we have a problem.